Hello, my dear students. I'm Ifat, your course teacher, and today our discussion topic is structure and classification of fungus. Last class we are very clear about the structure, classification, reproduction of virus, and today we will start a new topic. The topic will be started with fungus. And for knowing that topic or starting that topic, first of all, you have to know what is fungus. So what do you think? What is fungus actually? You already know that fungus is a unicellular or multicellular organism. With that, it also has chitin cell wall, and with that, it contains the mycelium and hyphae. Without this, we also know some other characteristics. As we know it earlier, a fungus actually is the plural of fungi, and its plural will be fungi. With that, it is the member of eukaryotic group, and the example of that group can be yeast, mold, and you're very familiar with mushrooms. And these organisms are classified as a kingdom, fungi, which is separate from the other eukaryotic life like plants and animals. So if you go for taxonomy of fungi, it will be like that. Kingdom fungi, phylum it will be Basidiomycota, class Basidiomycetes, order Agaricales, family Agaricaceae, genus Agaricus, and species like Agaricus campestris. It is a taxonomy of Agaricus campestris. Okay, and you are very well known about the taxonomy. Now we are going to read about general fungal cell structure. Actually, there are lots of fungus, lots of varieties of fungus. Whenever we read the classification, you will know it very well. So we will read actually a very general structure that is contain almost all cells. That is the general fungal cell structure. Here you can see that here is cell wall present, nucleus, vacuole, cell membrane, mitochondria, cytoplasm, all of the things are present there. So we will just now know about this in details. First of all, what is fungal cell wall? Fungal cell wall is composed of two types of materials. One is glucagon and another is chitin. Okay, and while glucagons are also found in plants and chitin also found in the arthropods, but in case of fungi, it is the only organism that combine these two structural molecules at the same time in the cell wall. And then fungal cytoplasm. Before that, another important thing that our plant cell wall actually contain the cellulose, but in case of fungal cell wall, it always contain the what? That is, it is don't contain the cellulose, it will contain the chitin. And then our fungal cytoplasm. In case of fungal cells, it's are very similar to plant and animal cells. They have also nucleus, cell membrane, and cytoplasm and mitochondria. Okay, and I already mentioned that it's not made of cellulose, it's made of chitin. Then what is fungal mitochondria and what is fungal capsule actually? In case of fungi, it contains the mitochondria and a complex system of internal membrane, including the endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus. Okay, but it never contained the chloroplast or chlorophyll. Okay, it never contained chloroplast or chlorophyll like the plant. So what would be the fungal capsule actually? The fungal capsule is an extracellular layer. Okay, like other organism, it present outside of the cell and it composed of polysaccharides. And like other organism, the extracellular layer is also just prevent or protect the cell, such as from phagocytosis, desiccation, or other harmful materials from the environment. And then our fungal flagella. So we know what is flagella. Flagella is like a structure that allows a cell to move. Okay, fungus also contain that flagella, and these flagella actually found in three domains of the living world like fungi, archaea, and eukaryota. And in case of eukaryote, protista also contain that fungi. Okay, and we know that we can also move. Okay, animals can also move. So fungi is a structure that allows cells to move from one place to another. In case of animals, you can compare it with the tail. Okay, you can compare the tail-like materials in animals. Is this kind of material is present in different kinds of fungi? It's also called flagella. Then another thing, it is called pili or pili. It's a hair-like appendages that is found in the surface of many fungi. Okay, it's like that. If you think that it is a fungus, then it will be the pili. Okay, it's here like material, lots of material present in fungus body. It's called the pili. Okay, that is pili. But whenever you say about the flagellum, then what is it? Flagellum like that. That is present flagellum. Okay, that is also present in different kinds of fungus. It helps to move, and mainly pili actually help to attach with the surface of anything. When it's attached with surface or any environment, it's called the pili. That with the help of that pili, it can attach with the surface. Okay. So that was actually our general structure of fungus, that we learn about what is cell wall, what is mitochondria of fungus. With that, we also know about the cellulose, or that is not present in the fungus, chitin present in the fungus, with fungus flagella and fungus blade. Now we will read about the classification of fungus, and today we will read half of the systematic classification. Okay, another half and morphological classification we will read in our next class. So first of all, what is systematic classification? There is a word systematic. That means for classification of that systematic classification, there will be some systematic base. So what will be that base? That base actually the reproduction. Based on their mode of sexual or asexual reproduction, actually this systematic classification is divided. Okay, and another without this they divided many five phyla on the basis of that reproduction. With that another kinds of classification we can also know, that is polyphyletic. It's no say that it will be six group of classification, or it's a six group classification of form for forming phylum. Okay, and it reproduce without a sexual any kinds of cycle. So we just whenever we read it, we just don't read with that fungus classification, but some scientists also just included that polyphyletic classification with that classification of systematic classification. Then the classification will be not five phyla, then the classification will be on six phyla. Okay, but now today we will read actually on this five phyla because that's are most common in fungus. So what are the phyla? First of all, that is Chytridiomycetes, then it is Zygomycetes, then Basidiomycota, Ascomycota, or Glomeromycota. You can say it's mycota or mycetes. That's are the same things. Okay. And so we will start with our Chytridiomycetes, or you can say Chytridiomycota, and in short, it's called chytrids. So what is that? That is the only class in the phylum. Okay, that is the phylum of Chytridiomycota is the Chytridiomycetes. Okay, in case of that phylum, it is only one present like chytrids, and these chytrids are the simplest and most primitive eumycota, or it is also called the true fungi. There is an example of that. It's called the Elomycetes. And if you go for structural some characteristics, then it contains chitin in their cell wall. Okay, but there are some groups of chytrids. One group of them contain both cellulose and chitin in the cell wall. Okay, but mostly chytrids are unicellular. there is a very few that are multicellular organism, and uh, here they has hyphae, but it have no septa between cells. Septa between cells means there will be no division. Okay, septa means cell is divided with some segment, and with that segment there were some pores are present. With that pores, actually cells just take all the nutrients, sometimes fluids, sometimes the other cytoplasm also present at that septa. Okay, and this type of hyphae without that septa is called coinocytic. Okay, and if it is septa is present or division in cell wall present, that is called septate hyphae. But kyphids contain the coinocytic hyphae. They produce gametes and diploid zoospore that swim with the help of a single flagellum. Okay, they can produce gametes for their reproduction. With that, it also zoospores are also diploid. So it can swim with the help of single flagellum and then it can reproduce. After that, our second one, that is zygomycota. It is also called the bread mold. That is the mold that is mainly present in bread. It's called the zygomycota or bread mold. And it's a small group of fungi that belonging the phylum of zygomycota. And mostly in case of zygomycota, they are asexual reproduction happen in them, and it's happened with the sporongiosperm. That means the sporangium and present in zygomycota. From this sporangium, sporangiospores is produced, and these sporangiospores are carried by air current. Then it can reproduce again and again. And when these spores get the appropriate condition or environmental safety or environmental all the facilities, then they germinate to produce new hyphae. This is an example of zygomycota or bread mold as Rhizopus stolonifer. And bread molds actually not so much harmful for human. In some countries, these bread molds are used also in food production. For example, we already know about Rhizopus, and it can especially dangerous to people with diabetes mellitus. Okay, especially that diabetes is not well controlled. Without that, for other person, it's also harmful, but not so much harmful. So another one is our classification is Ascomycota or sac fungi. In the name said like that, it's there will be some sac-like materials there. So what are they? They form the ascus, or they form the sac-like material where their spores are present. And one ascus or one sac-like structure can contain 8 to 10 ascospores. Okay, and these ascospores are mostly haploid. And many ascomycetes are of commercial importance because they play a beneficial role, such as the yeast used in baking, brewing, and wine fermentation. And the example is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. That means Saccharomyces cerevisiae that mostly used in our baking. That is a group of fungi of Ascomycota. Okay. So that's for today. We already read the structure of fungus with 3 phylum. And other phylum and the morphological classification will read in our next class. And we will discuss more in our tomorrow's class. Thank you.